Even if you have zero technical skills, you don't have to be scared of AI automations. And you should not limit your skills to just prompting ChatGPT because you can do way beyond that. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know in order to learn AI automations from scratch, even as a non-technical person. And all you have to do is to dedicate 10 days. That's it. Done. And like I said, you don't need any coding or technical background because this whole structure, the 10 days that I'm asking you to spend, it's built for non-technical people, marketeers, people who were never into anything technical. And for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Dhanush Jadon. I've been around in the digital marketing world for more than 16 years. I have lived and worked in Southeast Asia, Greater China, and India across multiple agencies and had my 2 startups of my own. And towards the end of the video, there are 2 bonus materials for you. One is a 10-day learning template, which you can download and use as you grow. And the other bonus material is a hack that I use when I work with AI workflows, which is to use ChatGPT as your co-pilot, because then it can help you out whenever and wherever you are stuck. So I'll give you some tips and some quick tutorial around that as well. So it's divided into 3 sections. The first section is foundations, which is your day 1, 2, and 3. We are going to take it easy in the beginning because we don't want to rush into things. We would want to clarify as much as we can before we start building things. This whole thing that we are doing today, it's not just for individuals. So if you are a business owner, you can also get your team to get into AI automations without breaking things apart. And even if they are scared of things, this is the exact way they can proceed. And because I come from a marketing background and I have a marketing camaraderie, my friends are from marketing, I will talk mostly from that perspective. And as we all know, marketers are very good at strategy, but we are usually, and it's my experience at least, that we are scared of automations, we are scared of technology. And sometimes this fear is justified because there's a combination of multiple things, like fear of breaking things. What if there's a system, there's a CRM system which is built to work exactly the way it is supposed to, and if you do something and things, they just break apart. That is a justifiable fear. The other one is fear of APIs, things like APIs. When people talk about APIs, people think that it's something very, very complicated, because then you start imagining a lot of codes, data just moving around, numbers just flying around everywhere. It's not that complicated. Trust me, it's very simple, and I'll tell you why in a bit. And the other rational fear that most marketing and non-technical people have is, say, for example, fear of JSON. And AI automations, they heavily rely on JSON. Trust me again, JSON is not very difficult. And especially if you use AI as your co-pilot as well, because whenever you are stuck, ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini will help you out. They will help you figure out what kind of JSON structure that you can put. And then finally, it's the fear of coding in general, that what if I don't know when I'm stuck and there is a bug in the code, how do I even start with the codes? So I'll give you a quick example. When I got into AI automations, building those agentic workflows and all, do you really think that I started with JavaScript, JSON and all those things, or even SQL? Not really. I had some background in that because of my education, but honestly, it's usually the AI which helped me out. When you start building those workflows, you start connecting dots, and if you're stuck somewhere, and if you couldn't figure out what to do next, just ask ChatGPT or your co-pilot, what do I do? If it asks you to create a code, ask it to create the code. Explain everything end to end. It will give you the whole code. Copy, paste, show it whatever is there. If it's not working, reiterate. It's not that complicated. And I'm not saying that you start building enterprise level things without understanding anything about technology. No, it's more about how do you start? How do you even understand these things? For that, you do not need to fear the code because you have AI now. And once you have overcome your fear, what you have to think about automation is as a system. There are things which are happening one after the other, and there are things, the decisions are being taken by AI, which are making it agentic, right? Think about it like this. Something gets triggered, like some event. You get an email, that could be a trigger. Your AI, the automation, it start working when it receives that trigger. Or it could be as simple as a schedule. For example, at 6 in the morning, something happens, right? Your AI workflow, it starts working. It could be based on a chat message, a message coming from WhatsApp, Telegram, or even a chat bot which you implemented on your website. So those are the examples of triggers. And based on that trigger, something happens. Now, because this trigger is there, AI got the signal that now it has to do something. And what that something is something that we define, right? It could be as something as simple as respond based on this particular information, right? You have a company information, company database, company employee size. Now, if there is a trigger, which is something as simple as a message coming from WhatsApp or a chatbot, that's something that happens is fetching that information from something as simple as Google Sheet, right? So something is happening there. So after a trigger, something happens, and based on that something maybe it gets saved. So another system, a part of the system, right? So someone gave you their information, right? It's a lead form. Now the lead is coming to your AI system. It's just allocating based on if it's a warm lead, cold lead, hot lead, and putting them in a database. Again, it could be as complicated as a Superbase table or Airtable or Google Sheets or HubSpot. So the data, it gets saved. And after that, something returns a result, because after a trigger, the whole process, it goes through one point to another, and then it expects something to be returned, right? A message that, oh, I'm interested in buying an insurance. These are my details. This is my name, my phone number, my email ID. In return, I need a confirmation that someone will call me back, or at least a code, right? So that something is the result that I'm expecting while talking to a chatbot for a financial or an insurance provider. So this is how automation is basically just a system which has multiple components, one thing after the other. It happens. AI there, it's just a decision maker. It's just an orchestration layer which will decide a few things based on the input. And once that is clear to you and you stop thinking it in very complicated terms, start thinking about automations as systems, one thing that you have to keep in mind, and something that I personally invented, is CRUD thinking. CRUD has been traditionally used by IT professionals, software professionals, but it's very important now in the AI automation world as well. What it stands for is create, read, update, and delete. And why is it important? Because, for example, when it comes to create, it could be data, it could be text, or it could be task within any system, right? So these are the things that we can do with create function. Then we have read. What do we read? APIs, incoming information from that, the keys or the code that runs behind the API, the files, the sheet, the data is stored in Google Sheets or a database, right? And then we should be able to update something as well in terms of, say, rows, records, tags, or any information, a personal level information, contact details, or anything. Similarly, it should be able to delete something as well, delete things like errors, duplicates, even the noise, or someone has requested to delete their record. So this is another functionality. So it's basic English, right? Now, what you have to keep in mind is, if you have a workflow which is doing certain things and it can't do at least 3 or all of them, then there is a good chance it's not an AI workflow. For an AI, it should be able to do at least 3 or 4, all of them, whatever we have there in CRUD. AI should be able to do everything here. And if your system can do this, congratulations, you have an agentic workflow. You have an AI automation now. On my YouTube channel, there is a whole video that I shot a couple of months ago, which is around just that, explaining why CRUD thinking is not just for tech people, it's for everyone, including the marketing folks, non-tech folks, because you need to understand what does CRUD means and how it impacts your automation. So if you haven't checked it out, I would suggest you go check it out once and see whatever that goes inside the CRUD thinking. And once these basic concepts are clear for you, then we will start with our day one. All of these things that I was talking about, that is day 0. You need to prepare them, understand them, clarify everything in your mind before you proceed to day 1. So day 1 is mostly for you to get comfortable with the system, with the dashboard, with the platform, with the buttons, the whistles, the everything, because just play around. Let's play around. That's all you have to do. Don't create any system. Don't try to become the champion on day 1. Just click through all the buttons, see what happens when you click on help, on settings, on create tools, and also if you can change the name, how do you create those login details, account structure, all those things. Just play around. So this will be your day 1. And what you have to do is, you also need to install something like n8n, because your AI automation, AI workflow is going to be built on a platform like n8n or Make, My personal preference is always N8N, so I'm suggesting N8N, but you can try something else as well. And you must be wondering how expensive this would be. I suggest that you install a cloud or a local version of N8N because it's free. You can use it for your personal use. You're not supposed to use it commercially. A lot of people do that. I would suggest you never do that. It's for your own personal automations and stuff. For that, it's absolutely free. And if you're confused about how to set up this platform, because like I said, it's free, right? So for free, things are not that easy. So you have to get into a little bit of technical details, but to help you out, I already have a video which you can use, because in this video, I take you step by step on how do you find the proper setup, how do you find the domain, a virtual server, how do you install N8N, and then how do you start running it. So congratulations, there is a video. You can just look into it. It's a 41 minutes long video. So I've explained everything in detail. And once you have installed N8N, installed it properly and able to log in, that's where, like I said, you need to start playing around with it. Just click on every single thing that you can find. Like for example, once you log into this one, you'll find a lot of things, right? And on the left hand side, you have things like templates, where you will find a lot of templates that you can start using. Just plug and play. And you can also find things like, say for example, if you open up this tab on the left, you have insights, right? You have help, you have what's new, and you have options like credentials, executions, data tables, create workflow. All these buttons, just play around. If you want to click on create workflow, try it out, do that. So this will be your task for day one. And once you have played around with everything, day one is not complete yet, okay? Because these are very easy things. You just have to spend, say, like an hour to install N8N. That will take almost an hour, clicking every tab, trying to figure out what buttons are there and all. It's not more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you're super curious. But once you are done with that, you need to understand a few things. Like for example, what are triggers? Like for example, I can just press the plus button here, or I can just click on tab on my keyboard. And here, if I type trigger, you will see everything that's there in terms of trigger, different type of triggers, right? So you need to try to understand what kind of triggers that we can use, because I talked about it earlier. Like for example, there is a manual trigger, there is a chat-based trigger. You can also have triggers from, say for example, Facebook, from Calendly, right? So there's a lot of triggers in there. Like for example, there is a workflow which is as simple as a chat message. A trigger is your chat message, and once it receives this chat message, it will just reach out to OpenAI. It will message this model and try to get a response. And once you are a little bit comfortable with triggers, that's where you can build a quick hello response workflow. Now, what is a hello response workflow? It's the example that I just showed to you. Because if I open this chat and say hello, it will generate a response. The type of response, it depends on the instruction that I give in this particular model. But yeah, you send a chat and you get a response. And that is exactly what I meant by a hello response workflow. Because in this whole video, we are not talking about stress. We are going to take small steps so that we can have zero stress. As simple as that. And once we have spent that day one trying to figure out what N8N is, how do we install it, build a simple hello response workflow, we move on to day two. We wake up early in the morning because this is going to be a long day, and we are going to learn data flow. And by data flow, what I mean is that you need to go from input to output, and while figuring out what's the process in between, which AI agent to use and what do we return. Then the second thing that you have to do is to figure out the instructions that you gave to your AI agents, the workflow that you build. Once you have the instructions, what kind of actions your AI agent should take. This will be your next step. And once it's done, just build a quick 3-node workflow. And I'll give you an example now so that you have some reference point. So if I start with my first workflow, a 3-node workflow, what you can do is just either click tab and you will find this panel, or you can just click on add first step. It will be the same thing. And the trigger, it could be anything. Let's just call chat trigger. So I have a chat trigger now. Just look at this, close it. We don't need to adjust anything here. After that, we call an AI agent node. AI agent is basically a machine, a system which receives something from the trigger and then provides a response, right? So this is my node 2. Chat model, I have to add an OpenAI chat model, right? So now we have an LLM powering this AI agent. And the third node, this is not a node, this is just a LLM, which is supporting this AI agent. The third node that I want to use here is Wikipedia. As simple as that, nothing too complicated, right? You will have to play around a lot because this is just a sample in terms of how you can start with it. But yeah, I mean, this is the most simple workflow that I can think of. So in the AI agent, I'll just give it one single option, which is a system message, and say, so it's kind of a prompt, which is you are a helpful assistant and use Wikipedia tool to look for responses. So the third node that is there is this Wikipedia tool. And if there is a chat, the AI agent will look at Wikipedia tool and then respond to the chat. If we just open it and say, so I'm asking who manufactures MacBook and iPhone, how old is the company? So let's see. It's accessing Wikipedia because I gave that instruction to it. And now based on that, there is a response now, which is, let me just click on this to see a bigger response. The MacBook and iPhone are manufactured by Apple. Apple Inc. is an American company. It was established on April 1st, 1976. So yeah, this is a simple 3-node workflow that you can use. And after this, you can just play around and add more tools and play with whatever workflow that you want to build. If you want to look at what kind of output that we receive from Wikipedia, it's a much bigger response, right? Because it scanned through the whole Wikipedia page of Apple, and it pulled the whole information, and then it found the year it was established. And once you have built this 3-node workflow, I mean, you can add as many nodes as you want if you're feeling adventurous enough, if you're comfortable with the whole thing. But once you have done that, you have played around, you are comfortable with connecting those nodes with different systems, that's where we move on to day 3. And the day 3 is all about vibe coding, because it's not just the system that you're building, it should also be the interface, the front end. Because for example, if you have to build a chatbot, in order to test chatbot, you have to put a code, the link, the webhook into a website, test the chatbot there so that you know the agent is working fine, the workflow is working fine. And to do that, you need to have at least a basic website, a basic HTML website, so that you can play around, test, take it live if you want. And how you can do that is by something as simple as Lovable or Replit, because they are powered by LLM. So you just have to give it some instructions in terms of what kind of landing page you want, or the website you want. It will create everything for you. There is some issues with capping because these are not free platforms. You get some free credits, free tokens, but it will not give you full flexibility. If you want to get that full flexibility, this is what I do. I use VS Code. In Visual Studio Code, it's free. You can install in your system, in your machine, and then you can use ChatGPT or Cloud as your co-pilot. There is an option in ChatGPT, the desktop app, where you can give it access to VS Code and it will write codes on your behalf. So exactly the same way how you do it with Lovable or Replit, you just have to put your instructions in ChatGPT and then it will edit everything inside of VS Code. VS Code in itself also has an assistant which can help you out, but this is just the way I do it. And all you need is a single page website, because we are going to do some testing there. If you want a chatbot, a small chat bubble, you don't need a 4-page website, a complex marketplace, right? You just need a single HTML page with a chat bubble, which I can click and open the chat interface. Got it? So we are going to keep it very, very simple. And in the end, once we have the AI workflow ready, workflow, which is more about an assistant, a customer care representative AI, so we are going to connect that to the website so that we have a chat interface. In my YouTube channel as well, there is a whole playlist where I've created a series called Vibe Coding for Marketers. In this one, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I go from scratch, go from basics in terms of how you can start with vibe coding, how do you build your first website, connect it to an AI agent, an AI workflow, a little bit around vector databases, RAG, and how you can build your first AI chatbot. So if you just want some hand holding, go visit this playlist, watch out the videos wherever and whenever you are stuck, and these videos should answer most of your questions. And once you have spent your day 3 vibe coding the app, then we will move on to day 4. Day 4 is all about API. You need to get comfortable with the APIs. It's not that complex, it's not that complicated in most cases. And I believe in most of the use cases that you have, the APIs are not that complicated. So in this second section, the first section was about the basic understanding. In the second section, day 4, 5, 6 is where we will figure out the APIs and also build some smaller automations. And now we move on to day 4, which is easy APIs with Apify. Apify is not paying me. This is not an sponsored video. I just use Apify. I like it because that's where I started with the whole workflows and automation and scraping. A lot of APIs I used from Apify. That's why I'm telling you, start with that. It's much easier. I'll give you a quick walkthrough. And the benefits of using Apify instead of figuring out your own API is that because I found that there are thousands of scrapers in there. Google Maps, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. If you can imagine it, it's there. And they have pre-built data sets, so you don't have to worry about what kind of information it will fetch. It will just tell you upfront that this is the information you will get and in this particular format. So it's easy to pull that information and put that into something like Google Sheets. And to use those, you also get those API URLs, and these are just built for you automatically. So you don't have to worry about building those webhooks where you can pull the APIs from different sources. So in a nutshell, it's very easy for beginners. So let me just quickly take you through the Apify interface. So once you create your account on Apify, it's free, first of all, at least for starter. You get some credit worth $5 in most cases. That is more than enough. If you want to upgrade to use more APIs to get higher thresholds and limits, you can upgrade as well. But in most cases, at least for the beginners, for the learners, $5 is more than enough, and it's monthly, so it gets updated every month. Once you go there, if you click on Apify Store, that's where you find all these actors, they call them. But technically, these actors, they are just APIs which do specific tasks. For example, Google Maps scraper, website content crawler, TikTok scraper, Instagram, e-commerce, web scraper, a lot of them. Like I said, thousands of them. So you can either go through the list or you can just search for whichever actor you want to access. And once you click on any actor, it will be very transparent in terms of how do you pay for this. For example, this is pay per event. So the credit that you get, $5, if you use this particular API, you will be charged, say, for example, $4 for 1,000 results. So if you are going with, say, just $100, then it will be just 40 cents. And talking about simplicity, you can see what kind of data sets you can use. You can give it to this particular actor is, for example, location, number of places you want to extract. So yeah, it's very simple, easy. So you just enter all the relevant fields here and then click on save and start. And then you will have access to the results. And just like N8N, where I told you just go through the whole platform, click buttons and all, do the same thing with Apify as well. Play around, just navigate the whole thing, figure out where every button is, where all the sections are. Spend some time doing that because you need to get comfortable with that particular platform as well. And once you have done that, I also recommend that there is a video that I shot. Congratulations, I have another video that you can watch and understands the APIs and LLM tokens better. It's a 44-minute long video, so I have put together a lot of details for non-technical people. And that's where day 4 is over. You are now comfortable with N8N. You are now comfortable with the nodes within N8N. Also, now you are comfortable with Apify. So you have some knowledge of how to use APIs. And that's where you move on to day 5. You wake up early in the morning because this is going to be a long day as well, because now we are going to put together some CRUD based real tasks. You remember CRUD? Create, read, update, delete. We are going to build some tasks, some workflows based on CRUD. And where you can start with is, for example, create the C part of CRUD. You create blog ideas. You have the 3 nodes. You have ChatGPT, the OpenAI access. You have a chat model. Ask it to create some blog ideas. And then after that, you also make it read the RSS feed from platforms like HubSpot, TechCrunch, or your favorite newspapers. Most of them have an RSS feed, which gives you access to their latest articles. Once you've done that, try updating some sheets to the Google Sheet. There's a video that I've done on how do you connect Google Docs, the whole system, with N8N. Go through that if you need to figure out how do you connect sheets with N8N. Once you have done that, you can easily update some rows and columns within Google Sheets. And once you play around and have enough data in those Google Sheets, try deleting some old data from Google Sheet. And that's where we end day 5. With day 6, we are going to build our first useful automation, some automation which is not just to play around and just text someone to get a response. We are going to build something useful. And with this one, we are going to connect 4 to 7 nodes at least. We can have more as well if you want to make it more complex, if you are more comfortable, but at least 4 to 7 nodes, and you will create something a bit more complex than your regular chatbot. Like for example, you have a trends finder workflow, you can try creating that. And also you can look into something which is around summarizing daily news from RSS feeds. I have uploaded a lot of workflow tutorials in my YouTube channel. So if you want to get some inspiration, you go check it out. There is one which is around SEO builder. There is one around your daily news where it summarizes the news. They are a bit more complex, but you will get some idea around how it works, how do you connect things, and how to put logics. A few things that I would recommend is go check out a video where I have explained Perplexity node. Because if you are summarizing something around daily news, Perplexity uses real-time functionality. It has date filters as well. So you can use that API to get real-time data from the internet. And once you start creating those workflows, I'm telling you, it will feel good. And once you start feeling really good, we are going to move on to the next section, which is where we start experimenting with some real automations, which is your day 7 onwards. After that, it's mostly about one experiment per day. So you don't have to stop at 10. For me, it's almost 365 days. So yeah, you can say it's a 10-day tutorial or a lifelong tutorial, because you need to implement self-learning here now. And to give you some projects and to inspire you, don't get too scared, because I have created some workflows around some of these, so you'll get some inspiration, some reference points if you go check out those videos. But yeah, I mean, start with something as simple as or as complex as SEO blog writer agent, which researches a particular keyword and then it writes a blog. It also puts some metadata, puts some, say for example, JSON LD tags as well, so it becomes AEO rich, and maybe also create some images for that blog using Nano Banana. And after that, you can also look into competitor ad scraper. How do you find competitors' ad from Facebook ad library, for example? You can also get into lead enrichment, an agent which goes through the internet or LinkedIn, tries to find particular profiles, their industry, their experience, and tries to enrich that particular person's, that particular contact's data. And then finally, you can also try building a chatbot, because I already told you about the playlist. If you follow all the steps from that video, it should not be very difficult to build a chatbot, even a RAG bot. And to make things easier, I suggest that you go to Apify, because some of the actors can help you build those workflows. For example, if I look for Facebook ad, so the Facebook ad library scraper, this particular scraper, which is just 0.75 per 1,000 ads, it will give you all the ads, the competitor ads, using the URL that you put here, right? It's simple, right? Similarly, if you go to my YouTube channel, there are multiple playlists. If you go to this playlist called Learn AI Marketing, let me just pause this one. And if you look at all the videos in this playlist, you will find one called JSON LD Nano Banana images for SEO blogs. So this is the video which you can use to go through everything that you need to do in order to build that particular workflow. So even if in this particular presentation I have put everything together in day 7, it's actually day 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have 4 projects in the end to do, 4 workflows to build. A few of them are ready. For example, SEO blog writer agents, it's on my YouTube channel. Similarly, you have your website chatbot or RAG bot. The playlist is again on my YouTube channel. For the other 2, you have to figure it out. I already told you about the competitor ad scraper, how you can build using Apify. Lead enrichment, figure it out. I have that ready with me. If anyone's stuck, just drop me a comment and I will maybe give you a JSON file. And because you watched this video till the end, I also want to tell you something about a bonus material, which is how to use ChatGPT as your co-pilot. And to do that, what my suggestion is, first of all, you go and install Atlas browser. If not Atlas, then you can also install Comet by Perplexity. My personal favorite is Atlas, so that's why I'm recommending Atlas, because it gives you access to ChatGPT. And how it works is that once you have any workflow open here, right? If you go on the top right corner and click on Ask ChatGPT, it'll help you figure out anything that you are stuck with, including the codes, the system prompts, the instructions, whatever you want to put there, it'll help you out. So use ChatGPT as Copilot here because, I mean, if it's there side by side, it'll be much easier because it can access this whole screen. It can see what you are doing and recommend changes or improvement based on whatever you are doing. And the things that you can do with Atlas browsers, you can get real-time explanations, step-by-step debugging anywhere that you are stuck, any code that is not working, any node that is not working, you can ask ChatGPT for help. APIs, when you are trying to figure out how do you connect APIs, or if you're missing out on a key, any JSON or any authentication token, that's where ChatGPT will help you out. You can ask it for summaries of the documents and pages, copy, paste, things, a lot of things actually. System instructions, because system instructions, the prompt that we gave all these AI agents, they could be huge. It can help you write those system instructions as well. You can also use Ask the Page feature. And if you're using, for example, the N8N template library, and if you are copy pasting a template into your workflow, and if you're confused that what exactly is happening here, you can just ask ChatGPT to tell you what's going on and how do you use it in your use case. And in the Copilot mode, you can always use Atlas to ask for things like, what does this error mean? Which node should I add next? What kind of JSON should I use? Or if you want it to write a JSON code for you. Similarly, if any step is giving you an error, there is a bug, I mean, it can help you fix it. So this is how you make your learning much faster with co-piloting with ChatGPT. And that's not the only bonus that we have, don't we? We also have a template that you can download, because in that template, you have a step-by-step guide into how do you start from setting up your automation to building your first workflow and learning while you go. In this template, you can just create a duplicate by clicking on File, make a copy, because it'll just be read-only. After that, you have a goal for the day. You have 10 days and whatever you have to do in that particular day. When you're stuck, I have also put links to my YouTube videos. So you just click on these links and watch that video whenever you're feeling stuck. You change your status to started, not started, in progress. Workflow planner, you can also plan your workflow. So if you are experimenting, if you think about something, you can put the steps together in simple English, that this is what I want to do, because once you have that structured steps there, it'll make your thoughts clearer. You will be able to think clearer with clarity, and hopefully it'll be much easier to build those workflows once you have everything written down here. You can also use the progress tracker, where you can put together a list of all your workflows that you have built. So now you have a database of all the workflows that you're building, the problem it solves, what kind of inputs, what kind of outputs, steps that you followed, what you learned, what you want to try next, this kind of things. But you can also use this as your own personal library whenever you're trying to sell something, or if you are trying to refer to your historical workflows, this could be your database. So go ahead, just make a copy of this template, start using it, and have fun. I hope with this video I clarified a few things, got rid of a few misconceptions, and also hopefully I brought down your fear of automation to a lower threshold, because I mean, if you follow these steps, you will get comfortable, and with time you will get better. It's all about practicing and getting comfortable with the whole platform, with the whole dashboard, with the whole system. The more you do it, the better you will get at it. So if you don't want to miss out on any future similar videos, tutorials, the step-by-step workflows that I build, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a like as well. So I'll see you in our next video. Cheers and have a good day.